104.7 The Cave, Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens in the studio. It is Dark Side of the Stream, episode 207 this week.
Was my pick, and
Jay's
it was
pick.
a winner. It was a winner.
Jay's pick was huge for me.
Right? I told you. I told you.
Zodiac Speaking. It's on Netflix. If you have not watched this documentary, my friends, you need to stop what you're doing, leave your job immediately, and go home and watch it.
Goosebumps.
We don't do this typically, but we need to do our spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
At this point, I'm going to tell you to stop listening if you have watched this show.
If you have not watched
the show, if you have, hopefully you feel the same way we do. But
we've done several of these Zodiac Killer One documentaries, and this one was the best
by far.
Solved it in my book. Solved it.
Complete story of what this is. The documentary, again, is called This is Zodiac Speaking, and basically it follows the one and only suspect that really they should have arrested back in the mid-70s, but we'll get into that in just a little bit. And that man's name is Arthur Lee Allen. And it's incredible how the producers and director of this documentary did such a good job of painting two complete stories.
So good, dude.
One that tells a story about this guy who literally 99.999999999% is the Zodiac killer.
I mean, all day long. It has to be all day long.
There are so many things that it's just like, what the hell? But at the same time, you hear a story from a group of kids that grew up with this guy.
Yeah.
Who you can tell after all this time, they have been told, even the students that he had, that they were all being groomed by a sexual predator, which is what he was, which is what he was convicted of eventually. And guess what? The killing stopped while he was in jail for that.
Crazy, man.
But then once he got out, the letters started coming back in.
It's wild, man. Wild.
They had this guy so many damn times.
Right. The only thing I will preface, I'm sold this is the guy, as long as the evidence presented is all truthful, which I assume it is.
We'll get into the one thing that we're still waiting to hear about. But in the meantime, you hear a story about this guy who was a professional diver, state champion diver, ended up becoming a fourth grade teacher, ends up befriending a woman whose husband had sexually assaulted one of their kids. He goes off to prison. She's got like 6 children. He sees an opportunity, and as sexual predators do, and leans on to her and starts coming around and hanging out with the kids. Those kids, for the most part, said they had a very happy childhood.
Yeah. I think he was using them as an alibi.
He absolutely was using them as an alibi.
I'm just out with my kids, officer.
And did it whenever he took the older two and drugged them. And that's when they realized all these times that they had been taken to the beach, they had been taken to the stuff, they had been drugged by this man and they had no clue.
Yeah.
And it just blows your mind. I felt so bad for Connie.
Yeah.
I felt so bad because not only was she assaulted by her own father, the next person that comes in, who is another father figure in her life, also does the same thing to her. And then for years and years and years, she still stood by this guy.
She didn't really know.
Even until his death, she was going sailboating with him up until the moment
gave her his
died.
Boat, she loved him, and the family said he was a great guy.
Blown.
It was incredible. And then when you start to get all the pieces together that they present, look, goosebumps again.
Let's talk about the coincidence next when we return. Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7. Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens back in the studio. Dark Side of the Stream, episode 207. This is Zodiac Speaking. Really, I just got to take a moment and talk about the police departments in California and or Vallejo, California specifically. 2 of the most active and prolific serial killers to ever come across the entire planet.
In the same area.
Literally in the same area, active in the same. I don't know what that says about you, law enforcement in California, but it doesn't say a whole lot of good stuff, because you're going to tell me you guys served this dude 3 times.
Searched his house.
And again, the last time when they went down there and found all the stuff that they found, the clippings, the stuff, but then they had no evidence to tie it.
Come on,
it's just
man.
like, dude, I can't. I don't know how they don't. I don't know, California law must be just backwards as hell. I don't understand it. But you're telling me you go and serve a warrant to a registered sex offender who has served time for sexual abuse of a minor, and you find pipe bombs under his house, and it's not an immediate lock this dude up. He's got bombs under his house.
And all the just.
Are you kidding me?
I know.
Are you kidding me? Like, that was like, wait a minute. Even if they didn't have any evidence to tie him to the killings, he is a registered sex offender that's got pipe bombs under his house.
Even without all that, I feel like if I had a pipe bomb, that I would probably get arrested, right?
Wait, it was like, oh, it's California.
Are you allowed to just have pipe bombs, man?
He's got 6 pipe bombs under his house.
I would think if I had one pipe bomb that I would get arrested, right? Like, wow, okay.
So yeah, that was one thing where I just couldn't believe they didn't take him in for that. But then after the stabbing, they pulled him over.
Got a bloody knife in the
car. He's at the beach. Cop asks him, "Hey, what are you doing with that bloody knife?" "Oh, I was killing chickens."
Okay.
At the beach.
All right, cool. We'll see you, buddy.
Got his ID.
And they know there's people getting killed in the area.
Arthur E. Allen. Then after he kills that woman in the city, they actually stop him walking away from the scene and ask him where the killer went.
Yeah, did you see anything weird? Oh, yeah, the dude went that way. That's the move. That's the move. That's the move, bro.
The move if you're a serial killer, it's the opposite of what you should do if you're in law enforcement. I was like, oh my God. And then they stop him again when the racetrack thing happened and the murder happened in that area.
Yep.
He had the kids passed out in the back of the car. He's like, I just took my kids to the race. It's 4 a.m.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like
I mean, so many damn opportunities to take this guy down, and they just let him go.
And then
no wonder they don't want to talk about it, and they don't want to try it because it's just like it's such a huge
ball
blemish.
drops, a lot of ball drops. Yeah,
and you can't. You've got a guy. Actually, we'll return with I think probably one of the most intelligent dudes in this whole story, and we'll get to him next. Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The Cave. Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens, back in the studio, Dark Side of the Stream, episode 207. This is Zodiac speaking. So, of course, the 2007 movie Zodiac that David Fincher put out was extremely accurate. And it also basically told the story of a cartoonist, not an investigative journalist, not a police officer, not a detective, just a dude who draws political cartoons who happens to be working at the San Francisco Chronicle who likes to eavesdrop. And he starts hearing all this stuff about the Zodiac. He is the one
who put it all together,
put all this together. Not only that, but he actually tied other murders, like the Riverside murders, back to him too. Yeah. So other murders that weren't at the time connected to Zodiac got connected through his MO.
And he went and did some stalking on his own.
He followed this dude. Even after he got released, he would go to the job he had and like try and stalk this dude out. And eventually Zodiac started to stalk him out too, which is extremely scary. Creepy. But I gotta give props to that dude because he did the due diligence in this thing. And I'm not saying that what some of the investigators did wasn't great, but at the same time, when you look at again, and we'll get into the evidence and all the stuff that was just like, are you kidding me?
So much evidence,
you're like, I just don't know how many balls you got to
like drop. This dude was a teacher, and in his class, he would have them decipher codes. All right, the Zodiac spoken codes.
The cipher thing for the kids. The fact that he had a watch that his mother gave him
with the Zodiac sign on it.
Said Zodiac on it, which is a diving symbol. He also is a huge diver.
He would make wetsuits. They'd help him make those hoods.
It's crazy. But so then, we follow the story, and one of the oldest brothers ends up having a conversation with him. And he's like, I just wanted to say thank you for the way you treated us when we were kids. And he just starts losing it and tells him that he assaulted him.
He says, hey, I wasn't that good of a guy.
I used to drug you guys. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
His brother and sister don't believe him. And then they have a falling out.
The mom don't believe.
Dude, oh my God. That whole thing is.
How many of these did we watch? The moms are like, oh no, he's not doing that to you.
You look at what the mom was culpable of, in which she either she believed him and thought he was a victim, or liked the idea that he was the Zodiac and she was the only one that knew it.
Yeah, maybe to tame the wild stallion.
But the weird thing is that when you look at how the daughter reacted, even after the idea that she possibly had been assaulted by this guy, she still hung him.
Yeah,
still hung out with him.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's just a genetic thing or in her family, but that was just bizarre to me. But so yeah, the mom, garbage, 100%. So yeah, the movie comes out, they all go see it, and they're all like, "Oh my God, we went to all those places with him.
This were guy is our stepdad
with him. We were." I don't remember some of that day, but I know we were there.
Right.
We were there, all of those places. So eventually, the two people that didn't believe it because this guy, Mr. Allen, was just the best, then realized, you know what? How many coincidences do we need to have to actually figure this thing out?
Incredible, man.
And then at the end of the day, David gets cancer and dies within 3 weeks.
Yeah, at least he's right. At least he came and spoke to the cameras and got this out.
What he needed to get out, man. But just his decline and cancer sucks so bad. I'm about to start crying just thinking about it. I teared up big time watching that because I was just like,
it was a really good documentary, man.
What a ham, what a hand these kids got dealt. And what a POS this guy was. We'll get back with our reviews next. Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The K. Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens in the studio. Dark Side of the Stream, episode 207. I will give this documentary one of our rare perfect fives.
I'm going to give it perfect 5 too. It's a rare one because
you guys solved the damn murder.
In my mind, I feel like case closed.
The one thing that we're still waiting on, and they tell you at the end of the documentary, is the results from that knife that was gifted, and they definitely found blood on it. Hands down, that's probably.
And that was just some other random dude too, who's like, "Oh yeah, man, I was my stepdad too," or something like that.
I mean, of course, there's a lot of luck involved, and it has to be extremely frustrating for those involved in law enforcement that they couldn't take this guy down legally.
Yeah,
but again,
they searched his house twice, man.
How do you let a registered sex offender have pipe bombs under his house? If that's not enough to arrest him, how do you let anybody? No wonder everyone hates California.
Yeah,
that's a legal thing. I just blows my mind.
I have a feeling nowadays, if you had pipe bombs, you'd probably get arrested. I think back then it was a little loosey goosey with the laws, man.
Still was in the early '90s, like late '80s, early '90s when that happened.
That's
then he had
different time, man.
But God, man, when they had that interview with the woman that went into his house. And
she had balls of steel, right?
Well, yeah, but it's just as soon as you're in there, you're like, no, this is the guy. They all knew it was the guy. Everyone knew it was the guy.
I'm talking to the guy. But it's great because you actually get to see him talking. So that's why this is the Zodiac speaking.
It's
so
just what a
good documentary, though. Watch it. It's on Netflix.
What a psychopath.
Are you watching? How are you going to top this one, Mike? What are you watching?
Dude,
next
I
week?
don't even, I mean, like, honestly, like, that's the thing. We had just had a perfect score on something. And it's like one
rare.
Of those
I think we've had 3 perfect scores in the years we've been doing this.
We're pretty tough.
2.
We're pretty. For the many
we're pretty official movie critics
as we disagree on.
Yes, I know.
There are some things that we do agree on a lot,
and we're a nationally recognized podcast now. So,
oh yeah, I forgot. Pete is listening to us every week, which is great. Honestly, I wasn't prepared to answer the question. So we're going to milk this for a second while I go back.
We'll figure it out. Mike is shook.
Hold on. We can figure this out.
Mike is shaking.
I'm still kind of looking at stuff. I had some pretty good ones, but I really didn't want to.
If you notice, folks, who's prepared here and who's not, I just wanted to make this
Jay just does a better job of asking before we start recording. Like, what are we doing?
Plan ahead. My age comes into play.
All right. The Manhattan Alien Abduction.
Oh,
just came out. 3 episodes, real short,
perfect,
real timely. We got to get off.
We love the alien stuff. Yeah, we got to get off. Well, there's probably going to be some probing in this one.
More. But let's do what's it called? Manhattan Alien Abduction.
Okay, perfect.
On Netflix, 3 episodes. You got some time. As always, watch us do this live 9 a.m. on Thursdays or on Facebook or YouTube. I play it during my show at that point. Jay plays at his show at 6 p.m. And then you can always download it as a podcast on our 104.7 The Cave app. I'm Mike the Intern. That's Jay Stevens reminding you.
We watch documentaries movies, so you don't have to.
You don't have to. Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The Snooze.